Because of my boss, my life is so miserable. Because of my wife, my life is so miserable. Because of my children, I have no time. Because of this system, we are so imprisoned and I am really miserable. Because of this, because of that, because of you, because of the other one. Because of somebody, my life is not as perfect as it could and should be. Well, welcome to the victim. My master, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, always says, when we do this because of you and you see what happened? One finger shows to the others. 3 fingers show to yourself. So where is really the problem? Is it out there or is it here? And just for your information, it doesn't change anything when you start now saying because of you. It will still be the problem here. So which attitude do you have? The attitude is up to you. A first step to have the right attitude is you have to understand that you are responsible for your attitude. And once you understand that, then you're making a big step in your personal life and also in your spiritual life. That's a step to mature, because you might be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 or how old you are. It doesn't really matter. You don't become an adult by your age. You become an adult by your inner maturity. I came across a nice story. The story of Viktor Frankl. He was a Jew who lived in Austria during the time of the Second World War. And of course, when the Germans took over, he was imprisoned together with his family. They were put in a concentration camp. In that circumstances, his wife and his children died. There's episodes where they had to walk naked from one camp to the other one. In that incident, hundreds of other prisoners died. Also his brother died. He lived through injustice, terrible injustice, loss of loved ones. But he always stayed positive. He always stayed positive. He always said to his other colleagues, to the other people in the prison, they can take all the outer freedom, but they can't take this inner cheerfulness, because that's up to me to decide. I am responsible for how I see the life. And even by going through all this misery, he stayed cheerful and inspired all the people around him. He was respected by the other prisoners as well as the guards. And he made it. He survived. He gave many talks on his experiences. He wrote books. And it's really inspiring to see that the attitude is really something which you decide. You make your attitude. You are responsible for it. How do you improve your attitude? Well, if you go in any bookstore, you go on Amazon, there's a whole section of life coaching, motivation. And every year, thousands of new books are being put out. Do these books really work? Does all this theory really work? Well, actually very rarely does it work. Even if we look at philosophers from the last 20th century, Friedrich Nietzsche, Jean-Paul Sartre, Ernest Hemingway, and Arthur Koestler, just to give a few examples. Renowned people, philosophers, writers, they had all great ideas. But what happened with them? Either they got mad or they committed suicide. Friedrich Nietzsche, he got mad. Jean-Paul Sartre drove over the cliff with his car. Ernest Hemingway shot himself. And Arthur Koestler also committed suicide. So something seems not to work. How do we really change our attitude? The attitude can only be changed if our mind gets pure. Our mind needs to be pure so that we can change our attitude. How do we purify our mind? Well, in the ancient scriptures, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes that this whole world is composed of 3 qualities. A pure quality, an activating, and an ignorant, impure quality. The 3 gunas. And your mind can either dwell in one or in the other one. And how you get to a pure mind, how you transcend and get even to a divine mind? Well, he says, when you focus on God, that's when your mind gets purified. Krishna says, Mamcha yo vyapecharana, bhakti yogena sevata, saguna samatityatam, brahma bhuyaya kalpate. How you transcend these gunas through devotional service, through focusing your mind on the divine, that's how your mind gets purified. And when your mind gets purified, you can create a proper attitude. Therefore, focus your mind on the divine. Do everything what you do in your life as a service for a higher purpose. Through that, your mind gets purified, and all the practices you do to change your attitude will bear their fruits. So by focusing your mind on the divine, your mind gets purified. If you look, every tradition speaks about that. Christianity, what is the highest law which Christ has given? Love your Lord with all your heart and with all your mind. Seek first the kingdom of God and everything else will be given to you. Well, is it just a coincidence that all these traditions say the same thing? Therefore, remember, attitude is in your hand. It is your responsibility. Once you decide that you want to change your attitude, then you can do so by purifying it, thinking of God, engaging in devotional service, doing spiritual practice. Through that, your mind gets purified and your attitude will become better and better. And with that, also your outside circumstances, because your attitude manifests in the outside world. If you are tired of being a victim, if you think that you can take your life in your hand, then please share your experience in the comment section. Help us to help others, to inspire others. And please, of course, do subscribe, give us a like, hit the notification bell so that you get informed when we do further videos. Jai Gurudev.